Hello. So I'm going to attempt to read some Plato, and I'm going to read Socrates' defense. Not the whole thing, just a little bit. Socrates. I don't know what effect my accusers have had on you, men of Athens, but I can tell you that they almost made even me forget where I was. So convincingly did they speak. But when it comes to the truth, they've said virtually nothing. The most astounding of the many lies they told came when they claimed that you needed to take care to not be deceived by me because of my artfulness as a speaker. Their lack of concern that their claim will immediately be proved false as I display my total lack of artfulness as a speaker seemed to me more shameful than anything else. Unless, of course, artful speaker is what these people call someone who tells the truth. Because if that's what they have in mind, I'll admit to being an orator and one in a different league from them. In any case, I repeat, they've said either little or nothing that's true, whereas you'll hear from me the whole truth. What you won't hear from me at all, I swear to you by Zeus, men of Athens, is language like theirs, full of fine words and phrases and arranged in due order. What you will hear will be in the words that come to me at the time, and as they come to me, since I'm confident in what I say, is just. Let none of you expect any more. It wouldn't be fitting in any case for someone of my age, Athenians, to come before you and fiddle with words like an adolescent boy. But if there is one thing I ask of you, men of Athens, it's that you hear me talking, in my defense, in the same language I habitually use in the marketplace, around the bankers' stalls, where many of you have heard me, and elsewhere. You shouldn't be astonished or protest at it. This is the way it is. This is the first time in my 70 years that I've come before a law court, and so the way that people talk here is simply alien to me. So just as if I were actually an alien, you'd obviously be sympathetic to me if I spoke in the same kind of Greek and the same style I'd been brought up to speak. So I ask you here and now, and it's just a request, at least I see it, as I see it, to disregard the manner of my delivery. Perhaps it won't stand comparison, perhaps it will. And to consider just this, and give your minds to this alone, whether or not what I say is just. For that is what makes for excellence in a juryman, just as what makes an excellent orator is telling the truth. Well then, the right thing for me to do first, men of Athens, is to defend myself against the first false accusations made against me and my first accusers, leaving till after the accusations and accusers that have come along later. The fact is that it's nothing new for you Athenians to hear accusations against me. Plenty of people have made them for plenty of years now, without saying anything that's true. Those accusers are the ones I fear more than Anytus and his lot. Frightening, though these latter ones are, more frightening. Athenians are the ones who've been filling the ears of most of you since you were children and trying to convince you of something that's not the slightest bit truer than the rest, that there's a Socrates around who's an expert. One who dabbles in theories about heavenly bodies, who's already searched out everything beneath the earth, and who makes the weaker argument the stronger. It's the people spreading accusations like these, men of Athens, that are genuinely frightening. Why? Because their audience thinks that people who conduct research into these things don't even believe in the gods. There are also a large number of these accusers, and they've been making their accusations for a long time. What's more, they were already talking to you at an age when you would have most readily believed them, being children, some of you, or adolescents. And they were prosecuting a case that went by default because there was no one there to defend it. But what is most unreasonable of all is that even their names aren't available to be listed, unless, that is, one or another of them happens to be a comic writer. The ones who have slandered me out of malice and convinced you of their slanders, and the ones who, having been convinced themselves, has gone on to convince others. All these accusers are the most difficult to deal with, because it isn't even possible to have them appear in court, or to examine a single one of them. I must simply shadowbox my defense against them, as it were, and mount my cross-examination with no one there to answer me. So I ask you to accept that, as I say, my accusers are twofold. Apart from the ones who have spoken out recently, there are these other, more long-standing accusers I'm talking of, and I ask you to join me in supposing that I must defend myself first against the latter sort, for you yourselves heard them making their accusations earlier, and you were exposed to them much more than to these later accusers. So then, defend myself I must, men of Athens, and attempt to remove from your minds, in this short time allotted to me, the slander that you have been exposed to for so long. Well, that's what I would like to achieve, if it's in any way the better outcome, whether for you or for me. I would like to have some sort of success in my defense. But I think it's going to be hard, and I'm well aware what kind of task it is. Never mind, let it go as it pleases the God, and meanwhile the law must be obeyed and a defense made. Let's start then, from the beginning, by asking what the accusation is that lies at the root of all the slander on which I suppose Miletus must be relying in taking out the present indictment against me. Well then, what did the slanderers actually say when they slandered me? I should read it out, as if it were the prosecutor's affidavit. Socrates is guilty of busying himself with research into what's beneath the earth and in the heavens, and making the weak argument the stronger, and teaching the same things to others. That's the sort of thing that's in my pretend affidavit. You saw it for yourselves in Aristophanes' comedy, A Socrates, being whirled around above the stage, claiming he's walking on air, and uttering a whole lot of other nonsense about things of which, speaking for myself, I have no inkling whatsoever. Nor do I say this out of disrespect for such knowledge. If there's someone around with expertise in such matters, please let me not have to defend myself against another suit brought on by Miletus. The simple fact is, men of Athens, that I have nothing to do with these things. As witnesses, I offer you yourselves, or most of you. I ask those of you who've ever heard me in conversation, and there are plenty of you who have, to tell others if any one of you has ever yet heard me making the smallest mention of such things, and then you'll be in a position to see that the same also holds good for all the other things that people in general say about me. In fact, not only is none of these things true, but also if you've heard from any source that I undertake to teach people and charge money for it, that's not true either, though I think it would be a fine thing if someone did turn out to be able to teach people, like Georgius of Leontini, or Prodicus of Ceos, or Hippias of Elis. Each of these individuals, Athenians, is able to go into one city after another and persuade her young men, who have the option of spending time with whichever of their own fellow citizens they wish, for no charge at all, to get together with them instead, and not only pay good money for it, but be grateful to them as well. I think I'm gonna stop it there. I'll just earmark that page. It's not so easy to. This is my fourth attempt, and yeah. So it's also nighttime here. Not that I'm trying to make an excuse, but for some reason I keep making mistakes. But yeah, I can admit it's not easy to read this out loud. And yeah, so please forgive me if it sounds terrible. But yeah, there is Plato and Socrates as well, since it is Socrates' defense that yeah, I'm tired. Anyway, I just want to say that if you're in a place where people are saying things about you, accusing you of things, what, if you're in a place where the enemy is trying to get in your head and tell you lies about yourself, don't believe that. Don't feed the monster. Don't. You need to stand up for yourself. Stand up tall. Step into who you are. Be present. Be here now. Be here now. Don't let yourself be pulled back by things that do not matter or are not important, or things that feel like they're suffocating you. Let that go. Cut that off. Speak that out of your life. Let God's love fill you. Breathe. Breathe in. Breathe in life. Breathe out your anxieties, anything like a burden that you need to let go. And with your words, watch your words. Be careful of what you speak. And note them. And your thoughts, what you can do with your thoughts is you can observe them. You don't need to necessarily engage with them and dance with them and become dizzy from these dancing, tricky moves in your thought spirals. That didn't even make sense. But, you know, you don't have to engage. And you can choose to focus on the things above. You can shift your focus onto that what is good, or that what you can identify that you can be grateful for, or that is something that is to be grateful for, that deserves gratitude. Maybe you don't feel it necessarily inside, but you can at least identify or recognize that. And then when you do, you're going to recognize something in yourself, that you are able to see that. And that is amazing. And by that token, I hope that anything that is blocking any opportunity in your life, or from you moving forward in life, or to where you want to be, that is just completely disappeared or lessened. Or if you're in a dark place and it's completely dark, that a hole is knocked through and that a ray of light comes and shines on you to show you there is hope. To show you that there is no reason, nothing that makes it okay for you to give up. Giving up is not an option. It's just not. And I could go into why, or I don't have to. Keep on keeping on. I promise you, there is something on your horizon that you have yet to see. And if you can't see it now, keep on going. Because you are going to see it. So you keep on going until you see that. And when you do, then further you are going to see. You're going to experience joy. And that's what I hope for you. And maybe it's stormy weather. You can hear the rain outside. Maybe it's a storm inside of your head. But if you could hold steadfast and take refuge in God, and keep your faith alive, that can really truly help you through. And you can use this time. There's amazing opportunities in every single moment to take and to use as a space in which you can practice trusting God. And I wish the very best for you. I pray the very best for you. I pray that you are at peace and at ease, that you feel a loving kindness, that you receive that you're able to receive, that you open up and you're willing to receive, and that you do receive, and that through that you also become so full that you overflow as well, that you feel out of your heart that you want to also give. But I caution at that point not to give so much that you are completely depleted. You are worthy of being here. You do not have to suffer and be in pain and have that be the totality and sum of your life. That is every day what your life is. No. May you experience the joys of life, and may you at least see the potential of that coming to shine through. I don't know who this is for. Maybe you'll even see a rainbow. The other day I saw one. It was amazing. It was like a miracle, sure, a sign, wonder. But to me, personally, on a personal level, it was like a miracle because of what it was symbolizing. And I think I may have posted a picture or something like that. I stopped my car to take a video and to be awestruck, and also to realize what was happening in that moment. That, like, God answered a couple of prayers. He spoke to me. I also realized a couple of things sort of coming together and blooming in a way, and I shared it later on that day. And it's amazing. I see it as, that invitation to creativity, and to admire that which is creative and created, and take part in that, and also engage with it, like nature, for example, or the nature of being, for example. And I think also it's a reminder to look up, check out the sky. Maybe something in the sky that can take your attention and not take it away, but just give you peace for a moment, give you just a break from the storm. And when it's a rainbow, I kind of thought maybe this sounds lame, but I don't really care what you think. Is that it's like God painted a picture on a canvas, and it shone through and he showed it to us, that we could see. It's like an art painting in the sky from God to us. It's and I say to us because it wasn't only for me, and I can almost say for certain I was not the only one to have witnessed that and see that rainbow. And I know this can confirm, because I did speak about the rainbow to someone that I actually asked, did you see it? And that person said to me, oh, it's been here all day. So that's pretty amazing. Anyway, that's my rainbow story. I'm getting shy now, so okay. Just look after yourself. TLC, tender loving care. And I like to take the word tend from that tender. And it's like tend to the garden, tend to the soil, tend to your soul, tend to your mind. Ask the gardener to help make the soil of your heart right, that when seeds are planted in there, they can grow and come to harvest. Maybe that's a bit abstract. I'll stop now. So yeah, God bless you. God bless your hearts. And just know that you're not alone. If you're struggling, if you're going through something, if you're suffering, if you're in pain, if you're maybe confused, anything, if you're going through something, you're not alone. Trust me, you're not alone. Really. You're welcome to send me an email. it's in my about thing on the YouTube. On the YouTube. You're not alone. And what you go through is where you'll grow. So ultimately, you grow through what you go through, basically. But you got to go through it. And growth is happening all the time. It's pretty amazing. And I don't want to invite you to ruminate, but if you can just look back and come back to the fixing your focus on what lies ahead of you, but you can take a quick look, check your back and just see how far you've come. Okay, and then notice your presence in the ground beneath your feet, and that you are here. I'm here. Wow, I'm breathing. I'm capable. And even if it's step by step that you move forward, even if it's 1 centimeter, just a little. Maybe that sounds silly, like a silly example. It's not. It's not. That is movement. We need movement to exist, and to be alive, and to engage in what life is. Participate. I don't want to go round and round in circles, but you can look forward to your future. You don't know what necessarily that it will bring, but you can look forward to it, and you can look into your future and see joy there. And you can know that it's coming. And then you can move towards it. And that moment of just that moment, that meeting place, that's where everything is gonna just, I can't tell you, but that is that encounter. Those are those amazing moments in life where you realize, life is hard, but it is also so beautiful. And there's just those moments where you feel alive and you want to be alive, and then what I want you to do is say that to somebody. Speak that aloud and acknowledge yourself, and that you are here, and that you are breathing, and that you have value. Acknowledge that. Acknowledge that. Okay. I wish I could give you a hug. Anyway. Ciao.